and welcome to another episode of Women's World. I am Oinitham, and in today's episode, we come to you from the beautiful city of Shillong. We all know that people from Meghalaya, particularly the women folk here, are way more empowered than many of us from the other part of the country. This is a matriarchal society. There has been a lot of positives as far as the women folk of the state is concerned. But as time has passed by, as we now look into the reports and news coming out from this particular state, it appears that not all is well with the women folk here. Of course, top of the agenda that each one of us are talking about now is the lineage bill, a landmark legislation which is expected to create a lot of changes in the society of Meghalaya. It has really shaken up the entire society here. Women folk really not sure about what is going to happen next. Also, there are instances of child marriages, the number of crime increasing against women in this particular state. Also the fact that many women are now becoming single mothers. So a lot of issues here that needs to be talked about as far as the society and women of Meghalaya are concerned. So joining me here today on this episode of Women's World is Agnes Kharsing. She is the president of Civil Society Women Organization, and she is also a social activist. Also on the show is Samanda Fawar. She is with the Lamsing Shay. They are involved in target interventions. And also joining me today is Anita Nanklo. She is the convener of Support Group for Women. So I welcome all of them on this special episode of Women's World, and we start with the discussion now. So what does this bill actually mean for the women folk of this particular state? Of course, there has been a lot of sharp reactions, lot of opinions which have already been expressed by people across the society, across states. But I have with me here these ladies who will really give us the real picture and what needs to be done at this point of time. What do they think is necessary at this point of time? First, let me go to Agnes ma'am, to you. What do you think needs to be done at this point of time? Whatever is being said about the bill, why the bill is said to be necessary, do you agree to all of those things that have been said so far?
I do not agree because first of all, the bill was so biased and it was like targeting women. Any woman who marries a non-tribal, she loses her right to be a Khasi. That is unconstitutional also. And so I feel that to suddenly come up with such a bill targeting women, it is really not accepted. And many people have been voicing their thoughts, yes, though they may not come out openly in media or in that forum, but they have been telling us to go ahead and please oppose the bill because they do not agree.
But now the bill has already been passed by the Autonomous Council. It's awaiting the governor's assent. What do you think is the way forward? Do you think that a lot of opinion being created, campaigns need to be done so that some of the basic provisions, these provisions, section 3 of the bill, all these things, do you think there's still some scope there that changes can be made?
Now you were saying that they have passed a bill.
Yeah.
First of all, that's not the way they pass a bill. They should introduce it first, the bill, and it should come to public scrutiny first.
Okay.
You
so
can't
what
just
you're saying
send it
is
to
that
the governor. The governor should send it for public scrutiny. It's not just between the district council and the governor. No, it is. They are representatives representing us. If they make a bill, it should be in conformity with the decisions of the public also.
Yeah.
And if they cannot bring out a bill, that bill will be quashed in any court if they do not follow such rules.
But the bill did go back. This is the amended version.
And they've just passed again,
yes,
which was never brought in public domain.
So no stakeholders' opinion was taken.
Yes, till now we have not seen they sit and legislate a bill. They introduce it, and then it comes to us, to the public, and then we'll see how it is.
Yeah.
Then if it's agreeable, people will definitely not object to it.
But given we know about a couple of provisions only, which nobody is agreeing to. So what do you think this is the real reason why non-Khasi people are maybe establishing businesses here in Meghalaya? Is marriage the only reason why your land, someone else by default is now gaining access to land, businesses, all of that stuff? Do you think that's the only reason? And do you think this bill, if it becomes a law, is the best way to handle that situation? Anita ma'am, can I come to you on this?
See, looking at the status of the bill at present, I feel that the bill now is just a proposed bill, which is yet to come into application to become a law. So it has to go through different stages, which I feel that it is too early even to say that we accept or we reject the bill. But nevertheless, if it comes to that stage where a woman has to fight its own right, I feel no woman will leave it. Every woman will have to fight for what they know it is their right. So let the bill surface in a proper manner, that it will take a step in the legislature. So when it comes to that point, I think no woman will leave without fighting for its own right.
Is your organization planning on some kind of a campaign, mobilizing the women of the state? Because I'm sure many women would want to speak up, but maybe they have not got the right platform. Maybe they don't know how to voice their concerns. So are your organizations doing something like that to give that stronger voice to the women of the state?
You see, if it is going to affect the women at large in our state, definitely it will come into a sort of a movement where we'll have to move against the bill or for the bill. I think there will be a different section of people for the bill, there will be different section against
the society
bill.
will get divided.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes. So till that time, I feel it is we are not very ready to say much about the bill, because it has to come into action so that we can reject or accept the bill.
Okay. Now that also, like I earlier asked, that what in your opinion you think needs to be done to address the problems that the district council has said, and which is why they think that putting a kind of a ban on who a Khasi woman can marry will solve that particular problem, that non-Khasis will not get access to your land, they will not be able to establish businesses in the state. So do you think this is the best way, bringing in such a provision, such a bill is the best way to address that, or you as Khasi women think that there are other ways of addressing the problem? Can I come to you?
Well, I think there's some other ways to solve the problem. Even restriction of marrying a non-tribal is not the solution. We are working for the marginalized group of people, and I have around about more than 400 females, both tribals and non-tribal females with us. And at the moment, I tell you, till last week, we have around about 5 females who got married to a non-tribal and they left the city along with the mother, with the child. The man took them away because of this bill introduction. So they know very clearly that they'll not be accepted in the society anymore. So they left. So in what way can you say that when you marry a non-tribal, they'll take away your land and they'll start your business here?
Yeah.
When on the other hand, if you see, the non-tribal is taking care of that woman, of the marginalized group, of the needed woman in distress, where the locality people have discarded her,
Yes.
So you see the difference. Whereas I will not say all, but most of our own tribe, Khasi men, how many of them have not left a mother, being a single mother?
Yes.
How many of them?
So
I seriously I can say that way because I work for them and I know and I've seen and I have the people with me.
So yeah, like you were mentioning, the number of single.
If you look at it, you know, most of the single mothers are Khasis. And why is prostitution going higher? It's because they get married. Men go, get married, leave the wife and the child, you know, and the woman doesn't have even a job. She's not qualified to go and work anywhere, you know. And so these are the things which is going to create. And slowly, if more tribal men come into the city and get married to all these people, I tell you, there will be no women in here.
So everybody, all Khasi women will be residing somewhere else in some other part of the country.
Because there's peace, there's love, there's peace, there is respect in that family or in that state or city, whatever. So whereas if they live here, they'll be, the next morning you see their tag in some Facebook with some,
there were a lot of trolls and all of that
comments
that has happened in the social media.
Yeah, they drag the children, the family as a whole who has married to a non-tribal, you know. For us, working for people in the society, we don't see whether they're tribal or non-tribal. For us, every woman or every man or a child is equal.
Yeah, they're all human beings and need to be taken care of.
So our project tries to empower them to know about their rights and how to live in the society. But after this bill has come, they're all scared, you know, they're all scared. Well, should I go get married, should I not? You know?
Yes.
It's all that.
So, so the society at this point of time, the Khasi society at this point of time is a little nervous, a little unsure what is going to happen next. Agnes ma'am, you mentioned that this is not the way to bring this such a significant bill into the house and get it passed as well and send it to the governor. You also said that this was done in a hurry. Why do you think the district council take a step like this? What actually is the story? What lies behind this particular hurried move?
Everyone is, you know, everyone is coming out with different views.
Yeah.
We will not know what is the exact reason, but some say it is maybe because of the elections, they needed an issue, and some think it is, you know, like it is a communalizing thing, and it is affecting and dividing the society also. And we don't know what is the reason behind. Only the people who have hurriedly done this know. But the state government has to take a call also, because we can't have another state within a state.
Yes.
We already are a tribal state. We can't have another house bringing out a bill and just outcasting women who marry a non-tribal.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier during the discussion that this is not the way a significant piece of legislation like this should be passed. You said this was done in a hurry. So what do you think could be the reason behind rushing through such a significant piece of legislation? And also, what in your opinion could be the other ways of handling the situation, like allowing non-Khasi people to gain access to your land, letting them do businesses here? What could be the alternates to address problems like these?
As I said, that we don't know what is the real reason. People have been giving lots of views. Some say it could be the elections, coming elections, 2019 elections. And some even say that, you know, it's trying to communalize and bringing a divide in the society. But there are different ways that the KHDC can handle, because they have a minimal authority also.
Right.
Though they can't be a government, because we have a government, a tribal government, a tribal state.
Yes.
Meghalaya is a tribal state.
Yes.
So what they could do is to find out where are the loopholes. They can't blame women for the businesses.
Absolutely.
It is very wrong. If you check all those cement plants there, having their businesses there, it is the KHDC or JHDC who's giving such
licenses.
In Bara Bazar, Yaudu, we call Yaudu, in there also, when we filed RTI, we found it was the KHDC was giving all these licenses to these people.
To non-Khasi people to
Yes,
set up businesses.
yes.
And these men are not married to a Khasi woman.
That I didn't ask because,
Okay.
yeah, but then still the license comes from the KHDC.
Yes.
So if they implement and function well, they can easily tap all those who are doing Binami and book them as per law. You have the law. But here we can see that lands are being parceled off. Tribal land is we are being alienated from our land. Forest is
Yes.
being cut down. So this is not women. Yes, there are few who are into this, but you can't generalize.
This, as
you
in
can't
they are
generalize it.
married to non-Khasi men, but that does not necessarily mean that they are, wishing something bad for the state, for the people of the state, their own
You
people.
can't generalize everyone because we also have to go out
Yes,
and we don't want the same
treatment. True. And like she mentioned that this is actually, people are leaving the state. Your own women folk are leaving the state out of fear and this kind of unrest that's now creeping into the society. Now, slightly moving away from this particular legislation, the state is also seeing a significant rise in crime against women. Why is this happening in a state like Meghalaya, which is a matriarchal state? Are the laws not strong enough, or is there something else that's pushing the crime rate against women so much? Anita ma'am.
See, there is a drastic rise in crime as we see now. Not only in the state of Meghalaya, elsewhere also in the country, there is a rise in crime. And I feel that the rise in crime now is due to lack of opportunity to the people. See, when there is something that the youth aspire for their life, but if that does not come their way because of certain system or certain reasons, that we don't have the proper opportunity here to give to all the youths who would like to have a very streamlined kind of a life. So, the mind of every individual is different. Right. Some go into the wrong track, some try to strive for the right thing. So we as a society and even the government should also take care to see what are the reasons that the youths are going into so much crime.
Yeah.
And most of the crime are happening to women because they are the soft target. So I feel that a proper study into this rise in crime has to be done properly by the people who are well equipped with a proper knowledge and a proper technological qualification to understand the youths as a whole now. Why do they go to so much crime?
Do you think lack of job creation is also...
That is very much there. That is very much there. We have lack of job here. You see, from the time our state has been established here in the state of Meghalaya, so now the people who are recruited at that time take again another 30 years to retire. Right. So now to create more jobs, we have to have other aspects where the youths can enter.
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. And even skilled workers. Yes. Because all entrepreneurs cannot be workers also.
True.
So skilled workers are needed, and I feel that, you see, sometimes our system of education should be reformed in such a way that the youth need not go for a further academical qualification. Sometimes with just the qualification of a 10th standard, you go to a diploma straight away.
Right.
You go to a diploma straight away, where the youths can obtain a certificate where they can set up something for their life. Because even a diploma certificate will qualify them to certain kind of a job where they can create it within their capacity, and maybe they can go for the degree also.
Right.
After the diploma, they can also go for a degree, but that will create some kind of interest and enthusiasm in a youth when he is not to just go blindly with the academic qualification, which will lead them nowhere. Come to a specific course that you are going to handle in future.
Okay.
So I feel the government has to look into that, where the educational qualification of a student will qualify them into observing them somewhere where they can work diligently and they can have a decent kind of a life. But if they don't have this kind of opportunity, I tell you, definitely they will go astray. So I think this is one aspect to curb.
Meghalaya, I think, has been very lucky to have two young chief ministers back to back. Mukul Sangma was a young chief minister. You have Conrad Sangma, another young chief minister here. So do you think somewhere, despite being young and very positive and optimistic and all, they have missed the point that ma'am you raised just now? Or do you think the government is now working towards addressing all these things?
I am very optimistic that this government will bring a good governance to the state. I think they are giving a lot of interest into the well-being of the youths, the welfare of the youths. And once you look into the welfare of the youths, because these will be the generation that will take over our states, say another 10 years. So we have to groom them so that we have a better state and a better society, and people will change their life gradually. I don't say there and then, but there will be a gradual change if the youths are taken care of.
And we are looking forward to, you all will be hosting the games also in a couple of years' time. So maybe by then things will look better.
So you see, even sports can give an opportunity.
Yes.
There is no earning like sports and entertainment. I tell you, those who get into that line, also they earn their living well.
Right.
So I feel that also has to be encouraged. A lot of academy has to come, as they have come earlier from the Reliance, as going to take over the youths who are the dropouts and create an academy for them to specialize in sports and other kind of field. So I think that could help them a lot, because maybe the youths here, they don't have this vision maybe. That they can do well in here. And but when there is somebody to start for them, I feel they're going to exert.
They need a little bit more
exposure. They're going to exert,
also. Going back to the problems being faced by women folk here, because like I started by saying that rest of India, if I compare women from rest of India, we always feel, and I'm sure it's true to a very large extent, women from this particular state and other northeastern states are way luckier. They have many more positives. We do not have dowry and such evils in this part, particularly in places like Meghalaya and all. But then there are these other things about, problem of single mother. Why is that happening? Is somewhere the matriarchal society thing to be blamed there, or is it time that certain changes need to be done in the Khasi society so that the women folk can live happily? Like, we feel proud when we talk about Khasi women, the matriarchal society. It is something really to be proud about. But as day is passing by, we feel that this society also, women folk here also are beginning to face a lot of problems. So why are these things happening to you? Or would you like to take that? Agnes ma'am.
I feel that the problems that they say that we are a matriarchal society. Yeah, there are problems in spite of that, and I feel that we think that these are not happening. In the rural villages, the women they can't even sit in a darbar. And they can't voice their thoughts out because, a darbar, only the men can sit. Though in educated areas maybe we can sit, like in Laimukra, we can sit together and decide. So I feel that what we lack maybe in people who are in power, they are not, it's mainly maybe because of they think how to come in power.
The men folk, because
they have to,
predominantly male dominated.
So that is the hindrance, and so in spite of being a matrilineal society, women are still having to face a lot of problems, and we have single mothers, a lot of single mothers, and then that is where these opportunists take advantage. They exploit that gray area, and though the women of the Khasi women are strong and can fight back that that system that is fighting them, bringing them down, because you can see single mothers bringing up 6-7 children. Single mothers, they bring up their children, they send them to education, they go and wash clothes in house to house, they struggle, they go to a shop and stand the whole day just to be able to feed their children. And they are fighters. So that's what I can say. And
because another interesting thing that I've noticed is that the representation from the women folk, the number of maybe legislators in your assembly is far and few. Currently, I think out of the 60 seats, only 3 women legislators are there in the assembly. So why this kind of a disparity? Is it because the women still don't think, or they are still politically not as empowered as they are maybe financially? Is that a reason? Or is that the Khasi women think differently? They feel that, okay, we are empowered at home, but maybe we don't need to be there as a policy maker, as a decision maker. Is the thinking a little different? Why don't we see more women in your assembly? Basically because, since you're a matriarchal society, we would always expect that you must outnumber the men in the assembly as well, because you are there everywhere. You run businesses, you run marketplaces. The show here is mostly run by the women folk. So why not the assembly? What went wrong there? Is there something that's holding back Khasi women, or is it that the voters think differently?
You see, as you have said, that the women folks here are very much ahead. I agree with that, because if you look back some 40 years back, maybe not you, your parents would know, that our women folks, they participate, equally with men with regards to economic, social economic life, because I have seen they were the one who entered our marketplace, maybe as a vegetable vendor or as a grocery or whatever it is, and they retain those stalls there. And now men have come out, of course, to retain those stalls in our marketplace. And so that was the quality of the women, while everybody else was were fighting for women's liberation. But our women were very much in the market at that time. But as days goes by, so you see, the thing, we are the matrilineal society, but I tell you, this underlying concept of patriarchy is also available here, because we are not, as Kong has said, we are not allowed to participate equally with men in the darbar. However, we would like that to come up, but it should come up uniformly in all the states of Meghalaya. Not that some should practice, and be members that get inside the Darbar. But if it would be nice that all women are given that chance to participate equally in the Darbar, and it has to be carried on uniformly. Maybe it can come into our village administrative bill. So that can be proposed through our village administrative bill also, so that we can participate together. So maybe that may be one reason we are not having more women legislature in our assembly. So maybe there is a second thought, maybe because of that. And regarding single mothers, we have plenty of single mothers also in our state, because see, first thing, this child marriage is also coming up now. You see, child marriage. So now a boy is not ready.
I would request you to hold on to that. We'll quickly slip into a break. We'll come back and talk more on the other issues that the women folk in Meghalaya are facing. Do not go anywhere. We will be back soon. Hello and welcome back. You're watching Women's World with me, Oinitam, and today we are discussing certain real issues, problems being faced by the women folk of Meghalaya. Of course, this is the state where they have a matriarchal society. We always thought everything is hunky-dory with the women in this particular state. But as it appears, as you have already seen, there are quite a few problems that women here are facing. Let's go back to the discussion where we were already discussing issues about the lineage bill, what it means for the women folk, what needs to be done next. Also now what Anita ma'am just mentioned is about the rising number of child marriages. Really very shocking to hear that in a state like Meghalaya, something like this has started. Anita ma'am, tell us more. You just mentioned about how child marriages are now taking place in this state.
Yeah, that is also one way of having the single mothers here, because you see the role of technology is also play a very important part with the young minds now. So they enter into marriage without understanding that marriage has some responsibility. So they are not ready for it, but they have already entered into this marriage, which we say it is a child marriage, because they are not ready for anything that comes up later than that. So when you see a boy have nothing to support the family, then he realizes it very late. And so all these things, it leads to, breaking up again that family. And so again, at a very young age, she becomes a single mother. With a very young child, and this will distort a lot in her life, because she will not be able, she is not capable of taking her life ahead with a small child, not having a husband. So all these things can come up in the life of a young mother.
It impacts the woman financially, emotionally, physically, from all sides. So do you think that the laws need to be a little more stronger, or is it that the Khasi society somewhere is breaking apart? Maybe there were things which held the families together, which is now disappearing fast. Is that one of the reasons why now we are seeing so many ills, which we have already seen in other parts of our country? We are witnessing similar things happening in this society, though it has happened really late, but it's happening. So what, according to you, is few of the reasons, or maybe one single reason? Is something bothering this society, or is it the influence from the other part of the world?
Yeah, as I said, the role of technology is there, where the effects from other parts of the world and other parts of the country also can influence our young minds. Okay, but then see, having a single mother is not only targeted to a child marriage, because even as you grow in your marriage, there are so many emotional breakdowns which can lead to these
that.
kind of things.
Of course,
also.
yeah, which can happen to
Yes,
any family,
yes.
anywhere.
You will see some marriages break at the very old age also, not because of any emotional reasons, but because of the children also,
Yes.
which we could not handle. So we tend to take the blame here and there. So husband blames the wife blames the husband, and so in that way also marriages break. So a single mother can come up from different angles. It is not one specific reason. So it can be that a husband died, or he has abandoned
Yes.
her for a lifetime for another woman, or he has alcoholism. That is also one point.
Substance abuse has also become a big issue now.
That has become more of a fashion, so to say.
And then it's and it's like resulting in families breaking up.
Breaking up
Destroying
because
lives.
these people, the youths who are in the substance, it takes a very difficult task for them to come out of it. So they have to be strong in their minds, and they have to be strong in their belief that they should get out of this as fast as they can. So only that can help them.
Agnes ma'am, to you, while we are discussing this problem of single mother, when a woman is a single mother, and that too if it happens at a very young age, then of course there's this financial burden also. So how do you, I'm sure you must have handled several cases, so can you share a few of those cases that must have come to you?
Yeah, most of these single mothers, they have come with problems of, they were hounded by loan sharks. And a few of these women had even attempted suicide, because the loan sharks were coming to their house, lifting all their things from the house, and the children were in fear.
Right.
And authorities are not taking action to ban such people who are giving loan.
Yeah.
So, and the interest rates are so high, 20% per 100. Some it's 80% per 100, 80%.
80%?
Because
if I
in a
take
week,
100
it is a loan.
Yeah.
There are different sort of loans.
Right.
Some are weekly loans, some are
Okay.
emergency loans for a day. If
Okay.
you need a loan for a day, and that loan is not because they wanted they have to pay the other one. So the other one is screaming over the other, so she takes an emergency loan, and that emergency loan means 20% for that day. So if you calculate in that way also, you'll come to,
Yes, it's a big number.
Yes, the loan rise because they have to take from one place and pay to the other.
Right.
So
it's a chain kind of a thing
to that
you get
extent,
into.
and these people, most of them have lost their lands also because of this.
Yeah. So what
And-
about the laws here?
They don't have.
So
You
nothing
see,
to help.
nothing to stop. And
Yeah.
if you complained, we had brought it up with the police once, and they said, why did they take the loan? You see, instead of, and many of these people who are giving the loan are government people, government employed. So they have extra money, they give the loan, and it's not a help out because they say we helped out. It's not a help out because there's a woman who took 2 lakhs.
Yeah.
She has paid 7, and still they are asking for 21.
Yes.
So she took that person to court after we gave some advice, because what else to do? Because the person was just hounding her and she was contemplating suicide. So these are the cases that women are facing, single mothers, and it is not addressed. And with regards to what Kong was saying, substance abuse, the government has no rehab. So it's exploited by others who charge a lot. So government should have a rehab,
Right.
so that because there are many boys, girls who are arrested for first time substance abuse. You can send them to rehab, but when government does not have a rehab, does not intend maybe to even have that, it's very difficult for mothers to think. A 17-year-old boy's mother calls me up, says my son is creating havoc at home. How do we address? We are not experts in that. So if there is a rehab, they can take the boy and put him in a rehab, get him. These children need to be taken
Help.
care.
Yes.
You can't just condemn them. They need to be taken care.
True. So going back to the issue of single mother, why is the increase there? Is the are changes required in the way your society functions, the way this tradition of the boy having to move to the home of the girl? Are these somewhere? Is it time to revisit some of these traditions and customs of the Khasi society?
Well, I don't think so. We need to change any of the culture,
Existing or whatever has been.
But it's
there.
just the mindset. We need to change the mindset of people. All we parents, we need to educate all our children. We need to give them time. If we don't give time to our children, then our children, they go and experiment. Through social media, like what Kong said,
the technology,
the technology thing, the social media thing, they get a lot of information, for which we don't give them. So if we don't educate them at that moment, if we don't give them the proper information, they tend to go and explore outside.
Absolutely.
They go and they're experimenting it on their own. So that's how they go and they meet a girl and she gets pregnant and all that. And on the other way, they go meet friends and they get addicted to drugs or alcohol. So that's how they go and spend their time. So we need more of awareness in our state with regards to children. We need to educate them. We cannot ignore what they ask. We can't ignore saying we are busy. We don't have time.
We cannot shut them up.
Yeah, we cannot shut them up. Like, no, this is not your kind of topic. You're too young for this. We cannot do that. We have to explain to them in some way or the other, so that they don't go and experiment it in the wrong way. So we need that. In our age, we were not allowed to talk about sex,
things.
about drugs, about anything. Our TV used to be locked off when some scenes are there.
Right.
They say adult scenes, but nowadays we can't do that. Now the children, the young minds, they tend to be very inquisitive. Now why did they shut me down? Why did they switch off the TV?
They get more curious too.
Yeah. Why am I not supposed to go with that, be friendly to this girl or be friendly to this boy?
Right.
If we don't give them the reason, if we don't show them, then they will definitely go and find out what is the reason. And in that process, then they will do the wrong things.
So is there also a need for greater level of counseling at the school level also?
It's a must. Throughout our 8 years of in the program, we have done a lot of school awareness, and in that awareness, we find that most of the children they need to talk. They can't speak at home. They can't speak at home because the mother or the father is busy in parties or drinking, or fighting for that matter. But they need to talk to someone for which they don't have. So they tend to divert their attention. They seek attention somewhere else. So I think counselor in a school is a must. In fact, in each and every school, I think there should be a counselor. But as per in Shillong, there are many schools that they have, but few of them they still don't have. So we have strongly suggested that they need to have one counselor so that each child can talk about their problems, about the issues. So being a single mother, in our project we have around about 325 single mothers.
And only from Shillong or?
Only from Shillong. We are targeting only East Khasi Hills.
Okay.
Out of which the age group is like 18 to 35. That is the age group of single mothers. So they are all school dropouts.
Okay.
Most of them are school dropouts. And to earn their living, they don't have education. Their parents are not well-to-do. Some of them are often being raised by their aunties and uncles. Once they have a child, they are being sent away from home, like we can't take care of you and your child.
Right.
So they look for alternative livelihood. Where they go, they trade. They go for sex work and all that. and they are the ones who are being very easily trafficked also, because they are in need of money.
Another problem, yeah.
Yeah. So the same, like how Kong was saying, we tried our best from our NGO. We tried our best to link them to different schemes, to get the livelihood. But the problem is they don't have the documents. What the bank is asking, what the government is asking, they don't have documents, so they can't avail the loans. And most of them, they don't have the voter ID. Being a Khasi, being born in Shillong, they are being refused to be given a EPIC card. So I have around about 182 females who does not have an EPIC, from one particular area. So how do they live?
So what do you do then with such cases?
What we, at our personal level, we try to locate a place where they can set up a shop.
Okay.
Or like that. We try to collect money from our sponsors and from the NGO itself, and we set up for them a small shop somewhere, and we send them for a free training which is being given in one of the institute in Shillong, and after that they get a certificate from the training. So, but not all, a few. We try to link them that way. But for that, success stories, we have around about 30 right now who has left the trade and gone for a better livelihood. Yeah. So far we are still trying our best. Yeah. But the problem is they don't have the documents, that not even a birth certificate, not even any certificate that they have, that we can link them to a proper scheme or proper loan that they can avail. Yeah. So that's it.
That's that, yeah. So Agnes ma'am, do you think that the educational system here also has a role to play in how the women folk are growing up now? Whatever happened maybe 10-20 years back, that's all right, but things have changed totally, and now we are seeing so many evils in this particular society. To counter all of those things, do you think that it's high time now that this part, the educational institutions, the system, that needs to change?
Yeah, I feel the education is a priority, so that they at least know what is what, and but that is also being exploited. We have many commercialized institutions who are mainly out to exploit, and there's no monitoring from the government side. It's like they're just shedding responsibility.
So basically these institutes, they get the license from the government and they just come?
Like I will say about some universities.
Yes.
They are being passed by an act of the government, and but they are not UGC recognized.
Okay.
So we are lay people, not in that line, but logically we think, how can I run a university? The teacher should be a faculty who knows, who passed from a proper university.
Right.
So, but if you have a teacher who doesn't know how to teach but just Googles everything, so that is not a proper way. And then they sell degrees. So there's a recent case we have come to know that there's a FIR filed by the police against a university, and it is serious because we had an earlier university also that was taken down by the governor.
Okay.
So there was a case registered and all that. So these are serious things where it also affects the family, because some people, families, they take a loan to educate their children. But if finally after going through 1 or 2 years of education in that university, you learn that it is a fake university, then naturally that money goes down the drain. So it is going to affect them economically also.
Okay.
So in that way, education is a priority, but it should be monitored.
Okay, finally, quickly to three of you, finally in one sentence, what would you like to say? Because we take pride in saying that this is one matriarchal society with lots of positives. So what do you think now that the lineage bill is a hot topic And there are so many other evils that have crept into this society. What do you think the government needs to do and the women folk need to do? First to you.
Well, the women folk in Shillong, in Meghalaya itself, they need to know their rights.
Okay.
They need to stand up to fight for their rights.
Yeah. What would you say?
I feel that the government has to scrutinize the bill well, and at the same time, the women will fight for what they know that it is their right, enshrined in the Constitution.
Okay. And finally, ma'am.
I feel the government cannot pass the KHDC cannot pass anything unconstitutional, and women of Meghalaya will always fight back.
Great. On that note, we end today's episode of Women's World. We will be back with another episode next week. Till then, keep watching Northeast Live. Till then, goodbye and thank you for watching.